Uh, Welcome to the Hylton Highlights podcast. This is Twitch. I'm the co-host. My brother here.
I'm the host, Dakota Hylton, and today we have one of my friends, and he's a pro boxer, Marcus Garza.
Hi, how you doing?
What's that's a great intro. No.
Welcome everybody to the Hylton Highlights podcast. I'm the co-host Twitch. To my right is my brother and the host.
Dakota Hylton, and today we have one of my friends and also a pro boxer from Kansas City, well, St. Joe, technically, Marcus Garza.
Hey, good afternoon, y'all.
So let's just go into it because I know you from boxing. So what got you started boxing? How long have you been boxing?
I started when I was 9 years old. My dad got me into it. Earl the Warrior Walker. He had a gym in St. Joseph, Missouri. I was with him throughout most of my, amateur career. I ended up transitioning to Authentic. It was after COVID because my home gym had closed down for good. And, I'd been with them, and some other things happened, and now I'm coaching for LEBC.
Awesome. So how old were you, did you say when you started boxing?
I was 9.
9. So, okay, so you've been doing it for a while. How many amateur fights did you have?
I had 32.
32.
Yep.
What was your first fight when you were 9, 10, or when was
I was 9 years old. I fought a tough kid named Phoenix Foster. He was also from St. Joe. He was from Callaway's gym. They were basically our rival gym. And we fought at Civic Arena. It was on a Pro-Am. And it was pretty incredible. I can remember every detail of it so vividly. It was my first fight. I was a little kid. It was a dream come true,
Oh, yeah. What was your amateur record?
I was 26-6 in the amateurs, and what was it? Everybody around me, that I trained with, my coach even, they all agreed that I was built more for the pros. I had always thought of boxing more as a chess game per se. I've been a pressure fighter, my whole amateur career and my pro career, but I've always been able to scan and think 3 to 5 moves ahead. It's a thinking man's game.
Yeah, that's where I kind of have some troubles, and this is how I spar those, because I'll start really being more of a counter puncher, and that's not necessarily. I mean, it's good in certain situations, but with the amateurs, they want to see you just being active and everything, which I've been working on that, and I feel like my cardio is there to do that. It's just it sucks to get punched. I feel like
Yeah.
it's fun, but like there's still that thought in your head that you don't want to get knocked out.
Oh yeah, dude, it's crazy, man. Like I remember it's so the first time I'd ever been hit, was the first time I was sparring, when I was a little kid, and this kid that was like 2 years older than me, oh, he whooped me. Like it was bad, man. Like I was all bloodied up and stuff, and did not want to do it again, but just something in me was just like, just keep at it. What else are you gonna do? Because I was so clumsy, I couldn't play any other sports. I had to learn how to fight. But yeah, man, it was that first time getting hit. It kind of just faded, away. You evolve to it. You grow off of it, and you get used to it, I suppose.
Yeah. I've kind of gotten to that point now, but there's still some times where just like if you're not feeling like sparring like one day, like, and then it normally takes me getting rocked to I know the feeling. It's literally like my whole body just goes like warm. It's like a really weird feeling.
Oh, like a rattle feeling.
Yeah, you get rattled, and then I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I got to start moving, or I'm gonna get the shit beat out of me.
Oh yeah, man. You learn to move your head with shots, and there's a lot with it too. You can move with shots and throw as you move. It's all about unpredictability. That's what I always tell my guys. Be unpredictable.
You ever threw up in the gym?
Oh yes. Oh man. So. My last time before Coach had passed, when I was getting back into it, it was my first day back. and we were running the stairs, the indoor stairs, and I'd eaten Fazoli's that day for lunch. And I thought I was cool. I thought I was in the clear because it was hours before. Oh, dude. I got like 2 laps in on the indoor stairs. And anybody that's been to that gym knows how hot it is.
Didn't he have the heat on?
Oh, yeah, man. And it's just muggy and sticky. And then you get to the top of those stairs and it's like you're climbing a mountain because it's just like a change in elevation. You can breathe or hardly breathe. You got to find that fine median. But, oh, man, I got to the bottom of those stairs at the end of that second lap, and I looked at that trash can, and it was so appealing, I emptied everything I had eaten at Fazoli's that day. Spaghetti. Into that trash can. So to answer your question, yes, sir, I have thrown up before.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I still know some guys that haven't thrown up at the gym, and I'm always like, I'll always tell people, like when I'm at the gym, I'm like, dude, I want to see someone throw up today.
Oh, you got to, yeah.
Because I've thrown up. I haven't. Oh, I almost did the other day. Because I dehydrate myself a lot probably though. I probably should drink more water, but I almost I get that gagging feeling on the mouthpiece now. That's my main issue.
Yeah.
But definitely from like working out though, at least probably 5 to 10 times in the last year and a half, at least. But that's But speaking of the gym you're talking about, authentic. That's the one thing I really liked when I did go over there. The couple times I did was because a lot of gyms don't condition you like Larry had you guys doing. Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, because my first fight was against someone from Authentic, so I was honestly kind of worried about that because I was like, I thought Jay wasn't gonna have like any cardio. But whenever I seen you guys running stairs, I was like, oh shit, they do this. You guys did that like every day, didn't you?
Yeah, every single day.
For 30 minutes.
Yep, that's anybody new. If you're fighting an authentic fighter, they've got shape and they know one thing, and that's come forward. Man, I remember before I was an authentic fighter, when I was in St. Joe, if I was matched up against one of those guys, I knew, like, oh man, this isn't going to be easy, and it's always been that way, But Coach is a legend.
Yeah. Speaking of Larry, well, rest in peace. I talked to him a couple times, and it was whenever I found out about that whole thing, it was right before like my first fight, and I was so bummed because I actually was looking forward to like getting to go over there and spar more. Mm-hmm. So it was, because you could just tell he genuinely cared, and you could see he helped a lot of kids coming through there.
Oh yeah.
So, and going into that now though, so you are with the gym you're with now is with
with Larry
Leanne.
Edgar Boxing Club. Yep, Miss Leanne is the owner. She's also the coach, and I'm the coach too. And we get it done. We train every day, and we try to do everything that Coach did and do our best. So, these kids deserve that.
Yeah, and what I really like about seeing that in all the posts is like it's a family atmosphere over there. Like you guys are after practice, you guys are kind of messing around with each other, having fun, and I think that's what a lot of people miss when you go to some of these other gyms. I've gotten lucky with my gym because it's like I'll talk shit on everyone, what I'm saying, like, but in like a good way where it gets people motivated, and so we have like that good atmosphere of like guys wanting to show up. And so I think that's a big part of it. So I really like seeing what you guys have going on over there. So how many fighters you guys got for you right now?
We've got 3 active fighters right now, and then we've got a few that we're trying to work with and get them to where they need to be, to where we can spar them consistently and look for fights. So.
And now is that just in the garage of her house?
It's in the shop where he used to build his racing bikes at.
Okay.
Yep.
So he used to race bikes?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. He oh man, he did everything.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. So going into your pro career, when did you turn pro?
I was Shoot, 17 years old. My parents had to sign the waiver thing.
Can you even go pro 17 now?
Back, not anymore, but back then it was 2014. It was my junior year going to my senior year of high school, and I fought on a card at Phil Welch Stadium in St. Joe.
Is that one of the last ones that Travis Hartman was on?
Yeah, his not him, but his brother Drew.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know he had a brother.
Yep.
That's I talk to Travis every once in a while.
Oh yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, I always
Travis is awesome.
I tell people because I saw he made a post one time. He had fought one of Floyd Mayweather Senior's fighters. So I always tell people I talked to someone that fought Floyd Mayweather Senior's.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty cool.
hell yeah, man.
But yeah,
Just like we know someone who met Rihanna.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which, speaking of that, if you guys don't know, we've probably talked about it, but our producers met Rihanna, so we basically are affiliated with Rihanna.
Podcast sponsored by Rihanna.
Yeah, Hylton Highlights, sponsored by Rihanna. We'll put something at the bottom there. No, so and you said you're 5-1 as a pro.
Yeah.
So you started when you're 17 and you're 26 now. So when was your last pro fight?
My last pro fight would have been November of 2020.
Okay, so it's been a little bit then.
Yep.
So what made you kind of step away from that?
Life took over, man. Just work, some personal issues, that I needed to figure out, with myself, and just took some time off to find myself. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's easy to get lost, especially, professional boxing. Once you turn pro, it's no longer a hobby; it's a career. And if you're working a full-time job and driving an hour every day from home and an hour back every night when you get done training at 8 p.m., it's hard, And I was working midnights and as a sheriff's deputy on road patrol. So I'd get done doing that, go home, sleep, and then wake up, eat something, go to the gym over 5 days a week. And, it just drained you. And eventually, life led to other things. But a couple of years went by and found my way back and, was consistently there with Coach. We were getting ready to start looking for another fight. And, another thing, and life took over. He passed. So.
Which that led you into going to the coaching side.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, which we kind of talked about that off camera, and that's why you're not really pursuing the whole fighting aspect of it more now.
Right.
So, what do you think is your favorite part about the coaching?
It really showed me that, I'm not, the number one priority. It's these kids that come into the gym that this is their why. This is their, what they've got to get away from whatever is bothering them or whatever is trying to lead them down the wrong path, and the way that they listen and they trust, the advice that I give them, it makes me want to lock in and be the best coach I can be for them, because I don't want to tell them something wrong and then they go out there and make the wrong move and get hurt. It forces me to be more aware and more vigilant, as not just a person, but as a coach. I've got to protect these guys at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And, I'd do anything for these kids, and they put in work every day at the gym, and I couldn't ask for a better team.
Yeah, that's super awesome. I was the first one, kind of in our group of guys at the gym I'm going to that started or got the first fight and stuff. So there's a lot of guys that they come up and talk to me and they'll ask me stuff, and I think that's one of the cooler parts, that whenever somebody actually some of these people believe in me more than I believe in myself a lot of times.
Yes sir.
And I think that was the weird realization of that, just the stuff that with that having that team behind you is what makes you do so well. And I think you're going to do really well with the whole coaching, and I'm always watching what you're doing on Facebook and what the gym's doing, and I'm going to have to get over there and, like I said, spar with you guys.
Absolutely, man, yeah.
Are you still going to, I know you're coaching, but are you still going to step in and spar every once in a while?
You know, man, I was getting in there with the guys and sparring, and I was running with them every day. But I've also stepped back from that. I get in the truck now and I make sure my guys are staying honest on their runs. You know, I make sure there's no walking because if there is, they're either gonna get shape or they're gonna get strong because they're gonna be pushing if they're walking. You know, they're gonna be doing lots of push-ups or burpees or all the above. Um, But yeah, man, it's our gym is family, and you know that's what it is. That's the strongest part about our gym is at the end of the day we're always going to be there for each other.
That's good. That's good to hear. So were you always kind of, because you started when you were young, were you always pretty much in shape, or did you have to actually like really push to get there?
I never knew what shape was until I started Authentic, and I'm serious. Like, yeah, I ran on my own time, but like the first time I'd ever ran those stairs. And not the indoor stairs, the outdoor stairs was when I realized what shape was because I thought that was like the whole workout. And I was like, man, like that was like a nice crispy workout. Like that was awesome, you know. And they were just like, no, bro, like that's the warm up. And I was like, what, you know, like no way. And like it took me a while to, you know, I was finishing in last every day on those stairs. Anybody that starts new on those stairs, you'll see they'll finish last for a while. Like,
Yeah, even if you're in shape. I know, like, I, like, pride myself. I was running 3 miles a day the first time I went to Authentic. And I think I'm just a clumsy person, so, like, I'm always terrified I'm going to fall. But for anyone that also doesn't know, they would make you take washers, right? And you have to hold the washers on your forehead.
Hold them on your temples, and if they drop, then they know that you're not keeping your hands up.
Yeah, and for me that was terrible because luckily like I didn't go to your guys' gym, so like they weren't yelling at me, but I would see them yelling at other people, and like I'd have to like try to like put them up, but
you have to hold them there while you're running.
Yeah, and you would notice anytime you see a consistent authentic fighter that was fighting, they would always have, you know, and they'd be moving their head and they would have their hands glued. They would have a tight defense and, you know, especially when they were in the pocket. They wouldn't have it to where it was obstructing their vision by any means, but, you know, it was a habit just instilled because if you drop those washers while you're running and you're one of Coach's pros, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long night at the gym. And he kept it hot down there, man. It was... Oh my gosh! The heater was running all year round, and the place was home. But you know.
Now, did you ever get to go on any like cool like sparring trips? Because I think it was Calvin. Didn't he spar at the Earl Spence camp or something?
I went to Crawford's camp. We went to Terrence Crawford's camp in Nebraska, and. There was what the heck? Crawford was there. Jesus Ramos, he was there. One of our guys, Luis, actually sparred Ramos. Calvin had sparred Bud before, and it was a hardcore place. Bomac runs a tight crew. If anybody's slacking, you'll just hear him start yelling, you know, like, hey. And they know what time it is. They run a crew full of killers. They got champions in that place.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so was your first fight, a pro fight, was that with Larry?
No, sir. It was with Earl Walker. My most of my pro fights were with Earl too. And when I joined the service, that's whenever, a couple years took a break. Got out, life kind of changed, quit boxing. And then when I was coming back around for that second go-around, Earl's gym was no longer open. And I was training with Lalo Robles for a little bit. And then he suggested that I go to Authentic, for like more consistent to work with my schedule. And I went and signed with Coach. It was, talked to him. I'd been there to spar a ton of times. First place I ever got dropped with a body shot was in that gym. I was like 12 years old. This tough kid named Hunter Vaughn. He's a MMA fighter now, but oh, dude, he hit me with a liver shot it was so terrible. I remember feeling just my whole body lock up and falling, and just and then everybody's just looking at me on the ground, and I was bloodied up, so I couldn't breathe through my nose. I had to breathe through my mouth. It was a bad time, but I'll tell you what, I learned how to move my elbows and utilize that to block body shots and other things, and just breathe out when you take anything to the body.
Yeah.
A lot of people will be like, bro, I was inside trying to hit you to the body, like after we spar, and they'd be like, I was inside trying to hit you to the body, and you were doing this, and you weren't even throwing punches, and I was like, I know, I was breathing out in case you caught me with one of them, because getting the wind knocked out of you, dude, just locks you up. It's the worst. I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah, dude, I kind of felt like a pussy the other day because it was actually my friend that fought last night. He literally hit me like in the solar plexus like 8 times.
Ooh.
And I literally I almost got, I truly think I almost got knocked out like it was a couple weeks ago now, but I got hit with this overhand 8, and like you could just see like luckily I had it on video, you can literally see like I kind of get like a deer in the headlights look, but luckily the bell went off right then, and I remember like where I was sparring at, I was literally going to get through the ropes, and the coach that was there watching it, he's like, so take your time if you need a second. I'm like, no, I'm good, I'm shaking it off, and like, but I know like my head was kind of spinning a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, that's a part of it, and I still get back in there. I mean, I think that's my main problem though, is it's all mental. Like you can't.
Yeah, man. Like getting caught is not necessarily always a bad thing. It's definitely a blessing and surprise. Like the first time I got caught with that body shot, it showed me firsthand like how deadly one of those things can be. And the left hook to the liver is one of my favorite shots. It's you slice right, you slice left. They think you're going to be right, but when you slice left and you're inside the pocket, 9 out of 10 times it's going to be open right to the liver.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite. It's a Hollywood shot,
Yeah, I got to get better with my body shots, and I'm getting better, I think, with covering up my body, but I still I've been really bad about flaring my elbows out, and so I'm really focusing on throwing straight punches, keeping my elbows tucked in, because that's the one thing that I get caught with all the time is like people can hit me in the stomach almost at free will.
Oh,
and
yeah.
But I do feel I have good movement, so a lot of times I can kind of like
Use
dance
that range,
around.
yeah.
Well, yeah, and use the range, but I gotta get better about throwing to the body. That's if I feel like if I get that down, I feel like it's gonna be game over for a lot of guys.
Yeah, man. If you learn how to use an effective feint, and you can make an opponent bite on that feint or drop their hands, you feint to the body and they drop the hands, and you throw left hook right to the temple. There's so many traps that you can set people up with, and it leads back to unpredictability. Like it's more than just one hand and two hand. There's so many different numbers and combinations and traps and feints and things that you can set people up with.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing now is because I'll see that like I'll use the jab. That's my main punch. I love to use.
Oh yeah, that's the most important punch. Well, besides the one that you don't see coming, that's the most important punch. But the second most important punch is the jab. You master a jab, you can do anything. Everything works off of the jab. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, you're good. It's just my whole thing is like I can get like you said, like the 1 or 2 punches, 3 punches off.
Mm-hmm.
But I've noticed because like when I actually throw a full on combo, like I did it the other night in sparring, and I was dead tired. Dude was kicking my ass, and I threw like a 1-2-5 to the body, and he went to go like out to the side, and I came with like a 4/6, and like I just caught him, and I was like, okay, like I need to throw more, and that's just being comfortable and knowing you're gonna get hit sometimes is really the thing, Once you get comfortable with that, like you're good. But I think that's what screwed me my last fight though, because I got punched, and it's all happening so quick, but I feel like I seen some stars, and I was like, he's going to put me out if I don't start just throwing. And so you start overcompensating. And that's where you see a lot of guys do, especially the first few fights. They start overcompensating, and then, you get gassed way quicker. You stop breathing. You just throw as hard as you can.
A lot of guys will punch themselves out trying so hard to kill a guy in the first round, and it's like, no, man, you save that energy. You set up you set them up, a couple jabs, strong jab. Like, that you could fade. But there's so many things that you can do. But I mean, it all correlates to who your opponent is because everybody's got different styles. You know, you'll notice in a lot of fights that people will just use that. They'll burn that whole first round just trying to feel the guy out. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's where I luckily I try to use my feet a lot now, and I'm trying to get better with the whole like the dip in, and my whole thing is also not just standing straight up with them. Like you can still move your head, but you can't. I can't stay in one spot. That's my problem now is you gotta dip, move, throw a punch, move again. Where I'll dip or I'll throw a punch, and I'll move my head, but I won't do all three at the same time. And I feel like that's once you master all three of those, and you're like doing that consistently. I think that's where and I see it in sparring, and I'll start actually landing shots and stuff. So it's just drilling that consistently, though.
Oh yeah.
So your first couple pro fights, if you don't mind talking about it, what was the money like for that?
Oh shoot, man, it wasn't very good. I mean, they were undercards on some shows in St. Joe. They were fairly small cards. I made probably $500 for the purse. However, I could sell tickets really well. Like I had a lot of people that would come to support, which was awesome. I'm forever thankful for that. Like I would get a lot of sponsors too. My dad, knew a lot of people that owned businesses, had friends with people that owned businesses, so he would get me patches made for my trunks, and they would, pay me to put their logo on there, and I would bring in decent money with that, about $1,500 total, like with all my sponsors, which was great, and I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, well, and I mean, the crazy thing to talk about that though is it's cool seeing that with boxing, but obviously when you're training so hard and you're, for instance, you said you only had the 6 fights or whatever, which I know you can fight. I think as a pro, is it every month you can fight? Or
yeah.
But I mean, you're
unless you get knocked out or stopped or something, and suspended, or suspended.
So then, going into that, because we talked about it off camera. So when was the first time you really you got tested and you were like in a fight?
It was in Jeff City. It was my 5th pro fight. I fought this tough kid from Colombia. He was an MMA kid, and he was making his boxing debut. And I'd seen some footage of his MMA fights. He was a scrapper, and he had a wild style, and he had some pop. And I went in. I was out boxing him the first 3 rounds. It was the third going into the 4th round. I heard the 10-second clackers, and I had my guard tight. I was fighting smart, and he snuck in this wild uppercut, and it hit me right in the button, and it didn't even feel like it really dazed me. All I remember, it was just blinking, and I was sitting on the canvas looking up at the ref, and he was counting, and I was like, oh shit, I just got dropped. You know what I mean? And the whole crowd was just silent, what? And I remember hopping up, and the ref was still counting, and he's on 8 or 9, and I just put my hands up like that, and he's like, are you good? Can you continue? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay. And coach said a championship winner, don't quote me on this, it was something to this effect, a championship winner is a championship liar. He said, if you ever get buzzed or dazed in a fight and you can cover it up and make them think that it didn't happen, it didn't happen. You know what I mean? And that saved me more times than one. I've been buzzed up a lot, in the amateurs and in pros, and I've been stopped too. But there's been times where I've been buzzed up worse than the times I got stopped, and I've been able to hide it. Every shot just lands differently, and that's how it goes. But I remember stumbling back to the corner. And I'm like, Coach, they called that a knockdown. And he's like, yeah, kid, that's because you got dropped. Sit down. And I was like, oh, no, I did get dropped. And he told me, he said, he's going to come out, trying to take your head off. And he said, you got to weather this storm. And I remember he had my legs stretched out, and he was rubbing my calves and my hamstrings, and it was bringing the life back to my legs. I had no feeling there. The legs were gone, And my dad, my cut man, at the time had the ice pack on my neck, just like trying to bring me back. And he's like, weather the storm, and he's like, let's get this W and go home. And sure enough, dude came out swinging, and I just kept my range and started, kept picking him off from the outside, using my jab. About a minute and a half into the round, the cobwebs were gone, halfway through the round, and it was go time. Ended up spiking up on him, I think about 20 seconds left. I hit him it was a 4-piece combination. It was the overhand right that stunned him, and then the hook put him down. And as soon as he went down, I put my hands up, and the bell rang, and it was crazy, man. It was a hell of a fight, but I definitely won the fight. It was scary though, man. That was the closest I'd ever been, and I'd never been knocked down in the amateurs or in the pros. I'd never been knocked off of my feet. In sparring, I had, but in a fight competition, never. And yeah, I got my chin tested that night and learned really quick, what the body's capable of when you got some adrenaline and everything pumping through. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's I think that's the thing too. How many times would you say you got dropped in sparring?
Oh man, at Earl's gym, like growing up, it was like a daily basis. Well, I'd say a weekly basis because we didn't spar every day. We sparred Tuesdays and Thursdays. But yeah, a couple times a week.
Yeah, I know.
Until I learned to get tough,
I know. I've gotten dropped. Well, I technically got dropped once. But, I know it'll eventually probably happen if I stay with it. It's gonna happen again, more than likely, But the first time was I was already like I had a conversation with a kid that day that he was saying I was one of the better ones in the gym, and literally that night I sparred with someone, and I just there's the footage is on my Facebook actually. I literally just leaned like he faked this punch, and I went the other way, and as I went that other way, he came with it, and I literally just it was so weird because like you can see the video too. I remember I remember getting hit and be like, oh shit, that hurts, and then like just immediately like my legs gave out and like I fell to the ground.
Oh yeah, man, it's a scary feeling, dude. It's and it can happen to anybody, man. Like that's what's crazy. Like I don't know,
But I think the most important part is there's a lot of guys, and I know you probably know a lot of guys like this. There's a lot of guys that wouldn't come in that next day. I was there that next day training, and
oh yeah, and that's hard. That can't be taught. That's hard. You got that or you don't. Like
well, and especially dude, there was at that time there was like 30 people in there watching, and actually the video got shared around a little bit, and I'm not mad about that, but like it's pretty like intimidating especially when you had that conversation that day, like oh you're good, and then you get dropped. It's a reality check. But I think I needed that because then the next time was we went down to see Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva. And so, like, my thing is if I go on trips, I want to go to boxing gyms and try to spar with guys.
Oh, yeah, man.
And so I went to Madison Boxing down in Phoenix, and he had this fighter. I can't remember his name, but he's supposed to go big. He's undefeated. I don't know if he's still undefeated, but he's a 265-pound guy, and he was an ex-football player, so he's quick, and he's not even really trying, and he's wearing 18-ounce gloves, and he is going light, but I probably hit him decently because obviously you got to, and next thing I know he hit me in the liver, and it was so weird because like it was one of those things you knew you got hit and you're like I'm okay. And then next thing you know, he's coming at you, and your legs are like, nope,
Yep.
I'm gonna go down.
Oh yeah.
And then I think getting up from that was crazy because then I still ended up sparring another guy after that, and actually his name's Q-Tip. If you go on the Street Beefs, he's fought on those Street Beefs fights.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I watch those all the time while I was deployed. Street Beefs.
Dude, you've probably seen him because he fought there like 3 or 4 times, and I feel like I remember watching him before I actually met him, and he's probably I think he's like 28 or 30. I think he's like 30, and so he was again also I was still pretty fat at the time. Like I was probably an extra 30 pounds, 40 pounds maybe than I am now, and like he was just quick, and I just remember like immediately like within the first 20 seconds, he hit me like, bah, 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 bah. And I was like, oh shit, this is not that fun.
Yeah,
And,
I've been in that scenario before.
yeah.
It's like, oh shit, like, man, I fought this dude in Ringside World Tournament. This had to be 2012, 2013, sometime around there. It was one of my last amateur fights. His name was Money Pal the Fourth. He's a pro now, and man, he's done pretty good for himself with his pro career. But I remember that dude like going in. I saw he was lanky, and I could just tell by his build like he hit hard, like. And I'd been cutting a lot of weight the wrong way. Hadn't eaten nothing all day because, at those amateur tournaments, you got to weigh in every single day. And if you're off weight, DQ, it's over. Or they'll give you 30 minutes to go cut it and come back. I'm drained. No excuses. I lost that fight. He beat my ass. But I remember going into the first round and bobbing and weaving, dude. And his jab was just bop, bop, bop so quick. And he wasn't like, I was so much smaller, like, and shorter. He was so much taller, and his frame was just bigger and healthier, and oh, dude, he was picking me apart, and I just remember he hit me so hard, like, the lyrics from a Sublime song went in slow motion, like, in my head, and I'm standing there, and the ref's, like, counting an 8 count. I'm like, oh, dude, he must have buzzed me up pretty good, like, and I remember setting down some shots when he was coming in. I started catching him, but I just was so zapped from cutting weight. He was just walking through all my shots like nothing, And it was like, damn, this is pretty much survive at this point. And
Yeah,
I'd never had anybody do that before. It was the most helpless feeling.
Oh yeah, I know that had to suck, especially if. What round was that? You think that was like your second round, or whatever, where you still have to go another round.
Oh yeah!
It,
Oh no!
and,
He buzzed me in the first round. Into the first round, and I was like, and I knew I'd lost the first round. I knew I was down already, so I was just like, all right, like I got to get this, this one, or I'm out the tournament. Cause it was quarterfinals. Then the kid that ended up winning the whole thing, I would have had to fight him the next day in semifinals if I won that. He's a kid from New York. I can't remember his name. Hans Perez was his name. That kid was good, man. Oh, that kid was an animal.
Yeah, so I think what would probably be the best fighter that you is there any kids that you fought that went pretty big time?
Marcus Davidson.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've watched him sometimes.
I fought him. Who else?
Because he's on that new combat league, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And isn't his brother on it too?
Yeah, Marcel. They're both really talented. They're both good.
Yeah, I've became a fan of them. They're both still undefeated, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's the crazy thing too.
No, one of them has a loss, but I'm not sure which one it is.
I didn't realize how big boxing was around here until actually.
It's come up a lot, man. Like it's this new generation. Like there's a lot of talent, bro. Like and it's like the prime of this new generation, and they're shining. Like they're putting KC on.
Well, in every boxing event you pretty much go to, for amateurs is selling out. I mean, I know any authentic fight was sold out for the most part, and then I know last night, I mean, they were still letting people get in, but there was pretty well sold out.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that's also that's so cool to see. But I wish I did live in like that '90s era or whatever, like the Tommy Morrison. I think that's when I really realized how big boxing used to be around here, though, too, because I remember my friend fought at Turner, and John Brooks, came up. He literally came up to me. John Brown.
Yeah,
I keep calling him John Brooks.
John Brooks.
He's a race car driver. I think that's why I say
He looks like he could be a John Brooks.
But he came up to me and was like, because my friend had just fought. He's like, you guys want to run that back here at our next card? And at the time, I didn't realize who he was. But then my friend, because he was older, so he grew up in that era or whatever, and he's like, Dude, I'm pretty sure that was Tommy Morrison's old trainer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he
And
was.
then, so I ended up looking into it, and it's like, oh wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
He created Ringside too, the boxing brand, in his garage.
Yeah, I just found that out the
Yeah.
other day too. That's crazy. That's
Oh yeah.
well, and then also titles from around started around
Yeah.
here too.
Oh yeah, man, it's crazy. And I didn't know that for the longest time either. And then, because we'd always go to like the end of the year sales right before the Ringside tournament because they'd have big blowout sales, and that's when I realized it was like the headquarters, and I was like, oh, this is like the only place in the country that does this right here, and it was in Lenexa, Kansas.
Yeah. I hate now they won't let you go over there and buy stuff though. I think that's so stupid.
They closed the indoor store down, which it sucks. I was like, dang.
Well, because there's literally nowhere around here to go and buy good boxing gloves.
No.
Like you have to order them online, which I know online's I guess the new thing. I'm a Reyes glove fan though.
Oh yeah, yes sir. Cleto Reyes is the best, except the Missouri Commission won't let you wear Reyes gloves in the pros, unless you have another pair of Reyes to give your opponent.
Do you get to pick your gloves as a pro?
Yes, depending on the state and the commission, you can get custom gloves. They've got a pass inspection and everything. You can't get some fake ass winning gloves and wear them in a fight, or some fake ones made in Pakistan that are replicas and wear those because somebody would probably get hurt, and then there'd be lawsuits and it'd just be a bad time.
You said if you wear Reyes though, you have to give your opponent Reyes too.
Yeah, or if you wear Grants or anything like that, any show that I've ever fought on in Missouri, the commission's raised hell about me wearing my Reyes, because I have black Reyes gloves. I have 10s and 8s because I fought at 147 a few times, and they wouldn't let me wear my 8-ounce ones, and then I got to wear my 10-ounce ones one time, but they started getting real weird about all the rules of the gloves and stuff.
That's crazy.
And speaking of that, though, if anyone from Reyes is hearing this, I support your gloves, and I need a brand deal because I will buy a shit ton of those gloves from
I'm sporting Reyes right here. I got their little pennant on my chain, their little silver pennant you get off their website. I love Clito Reyes.
Yeah, Enrique. Well, speaking of that, because we're friends, that's how I know him is because he's friends with our friend Enrique. Which speaking of that, fuck you, Enrique, because I had to go work with you ass yesterday. If your Mexican friend ever tells you, hey, this work's not that hard, do not listen to him because it was not fun out there. He's the one that got me on the Reyes. Or actually, no, it wasn't. He bought the Reyes, but Butterbean actually hooked me up with Reyes. He told me, he's like, hey, you should try these Reyes gloves because he had a deal with them. And actually, a lot of the gloves he signs are Reyes gloves, and he's such a cool guy. He literally would sell a signed glove for $50. So
Shoot,
yeah.
I have to holler at the boy Butterbean.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if I should talk too much about that, but I think they gave him to him or whatever. But he's a cool guy, and he's actually going to come on the podcast.
Oh, nice.
So you should, if you're free, August 20th, you should come to that birthday bash.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's one of the coolest guys I've ever met, to be honest. What's the coolest boxer you've got to meet?
We got to meet Shakur at the Nationals this year. I've met Bud, Terrence Crawford. I've met Mike Tyson at the 420 Fest.
Everyone did, but
Did you meet Ric Flair too?
Yeah, he was there. Ric Flair's a savage, dude. I didn't really get to meet and talk to them because there's so many people, but my boy Lex was there, and he was like, Mike, it's me, your son. And then Mike just kind of turned and looked, and he was like, and just gave him that snarling look with his gold tooth showing, and then just kept walking. I was like, dang, you're crazy. Out of all people that you would troll, Mike Tyson, you're wild. But my boy Lex, he's awesome. That's my boy.
Well, luckily there's a shit ton of people there, so you're pretty good.
We could have had time to run, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That was what I was looking for.
Yeah, that guy messing with him on the plane though, how dumb do you
Oh,
gotta be?
yeah, no. Oh, dude, that's just a death wish.
Dude, I couldn't imagine what that had to have felt like. And he didn't give it all to him. He probably would have killed him.
Yeah.
I'd like to take a punch just to say I did, but I don't think I'm man enough.
I wouldn't, bro. I wouldn't like to. I got a headache thinking about it.
See, Butterbean is actually really saying he's going to fight again. Like, that's a real thing. And so I'm hoping when he's here, I'm hoping that he's, like, in a little bit of sparring shape so I could try to go a couple rounds with him.
Oh, hell yeah,
That would be sick.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that's I don't think I would do too well. He's one of those, like, dude, he didn't train for, like, 20 years is what he was saying. And, like, he shook your hand, and it was one of those, like, I'm a pussy. It's like that guy, the muscles he still has for not training for 20 years is crazy. It is crazy. So I know we talked about, you said you ran and stuff a little bit. Were you ever like, what's the most you've ever probably ran at one time, you think? Because I got him into running and stuff a lot more. And like he's what, you run 3 to 4 miles a day now?
I average 3 a day, but if not, I'd do like 4 or 5 or 6.
The most I've ever done in one setting, it was a slow jog pace, but it was a 12-mile ruck. It was for the German sports badge. It was when I was in the service. But, yeah, it really sucked. It was raining. I was chafing because I was kind of fat.
I know that feeling. Do you ever get the nipple chafing?
No,
That's
I
the
never
worst,
got
bro.
that. I just got the thunder thighs, like inner thunder thighs chafing. I was like, damn, like,
I've got that a few
it was
times.
the worst.
I'm telling you though, you're lucky you haven't got the nipple ones, because, dude, I was wearing a white shirt one time in sparring, and like my coach comes up to me, he's like, "Hey, are you okay?" Because he's like thinking I got a bloody nose, and I'm like, "No, what are you talking about?" I look down and literally just blood coming from both my nipples down my shirt.
Oh man, that
was-
sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was like, I think it was just the shirts, and I used to, you can tell I used to have tits. My tits used to be pretty saggy though, so they're like kind of like, I guess almost pecs now, but they still got a little sag to them.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, besides boxing and stuff though, what type of stuff what do you do besides boxing?
As you can see, I'm into medical cannabis. It's I enjoy it. I play some video games. I go to school, go to college. I'm getting my degree in digital animation, so that'd be cool.
That's sick. What's
Taking advantage of that GI Bill. So, I'm gonna learn some things, man. Get educated, I suppose.
So digital animation, are you wanting to like make games and stuff? Is that what you're going for?
Yeah, that cartoons, whatever. I'm just I picked the most. I don't know, going into it. Like, I never really thought I would see myself going back to school, but I got the GI Bill and everything, so I was like, I might as well use it, and I'm really glad I did. I got one semester out of the way, and it wasn't really as hard as I thought it was going to be, at all. Now that I kind of, want to be at school and it's not forced, it's like, okay, like, I can learn something, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, and I think because I was trying to go to school there for a little bit, and my problem is, though, is like I had to literally work full-time, and then I was at the gym full-time,
Yeah.
and then I started trying to go to school full-time. But luckily, I worked a job where I could sleep overnight. But, I mean, you're talking when you're driving an hour there, an hour back, then you're at the gym 3-4 hours a day.
Oh, yeah.
Then you're at school 4 hours a day. It's like, it gets to a point where you're like, I don't even know if I want to do this. And I think my thing is, I know I can do something for myself. Like, I don't have to be there for, like, the stuff I'm wanting to do. But I always think, like, that digital animation stuff would be cool.
Oh,
But
yeah.
what kind of games are you into? I know you like a Fortnite guy. We used to play Fortnite and
Man,
stuff.
I play, been on Hell Let Loose lately. Dude, I've been grinding on Hitman 3, like, hardcore. That game is crazy. Like, it's so in-depth. Kind of random, because nobody plays it, but,
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
it hurts my feelings. But it's a classic, dude. It's been around forever.
What
But,
system?
PS5. I have a PC, too, but, dude, best game of all. Rust.
Oh, I've heard people talk about that.
Dude, Rust. It's I've never been bullied by a group of 10-year-olds like in my whole life until I got on Rust, bro, and like they just travel in packs. They're ruthless, and they robbed me for everything I had. And they dropped some corn like when they left, so I didn't starve. But I was like, what's the point, dude? I'm bleeding out. Like, ruthless. It's not for the the weak-minded. You start naked with a rock and a torch, and you work your way up.
That actually sounds like a fun game. I like to play games, but it's just I have so much going on. I don't have the attention span to sit down for long periods of time either. That's honestly, I'm surprised I can sit here for an hour, and even then you'll see me fidgeting around with shit. So, but what's your favorite system? I know he's more. What was your favorite system? Probably the 64.
Super Nintendo or 64.
Oh, 64's classic, bro. Mm-hmm. Did you ever have NFL Blitz on that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude.
What's the game with the 64 with the car one with the bombs stuff where you just like
Vigilante 8 or something, or Velocity 8, something like that.
That was one of my favorites. Or we played wrestling games. We were big into wrestling as kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we would go around like they had the big bald guys, and they wore those like the wrestling type, whatever they're called, the one-piece suits. We called them the big fat babies, and we'd always wrestle them. Like we'd just be jumping off the couch and stuff, and we did a lot of weird stuff together. Did you ever wrestle around?
Yeah, I'm the youngest out of there was 7 of us.
Oh shit.
But like everybody was in and out, different. It was different ages and everything. So, I have one brother that's my age, and we were little hood rats back in the day.
Yeah, we have one other brother, and it's like kind of weird because he's pretty much a mix between me and our other brother, and then like I kind of like always went like the rap path, and then also like sports, and then. Our older brother, he played soccer and stuff, but he went more like definitely the nerdy side of things and games and comic books and all that stuff.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Which I just don't have the attention span for all that stuff.
Oh, I'm a nerd, bro. I love all that shit.
Like, what are you into? Like superheroes or like what?
Shit, I don't know. Just video games, scary movies. When I was a kid, I used to draw comics and stuff. I was pretty artistic.
Dude, that's what you should. You should actually make a comic and get it released. Then that'd be fun, dude. If you make a boxing one, I'm telling you, you take them to those fights, cool. And people would buy them. I'm telling you, that's how you like.
That would be a good hustle, bro.
You'd be surprised what people will actually support, like stuff like that, just to like, especially if it's good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if it's
that's dope, dude. I might try to draw something up with that. You know what I mean? Just some sketches.
Printing and stuff should be pretty cost effective too. You probably could get those printed for like $1 a piece, $2 a piece, sell them for like 10.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Posters and stuff. That'd be cool.
And what you do is too, and this is where you can go even farther. You start marketing it for your fighters, and like you make it like a whole gym thing, and then now you're growing the gym and also doing that, and
then other gyms are gonna hit you up and ask if you could draw for their gym.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Like, were you big with making merch when you're fighting?
Yeah, I actually made good money on my pro fights because I'd paid before to fight on a card, because the card was full already, and I had paid out of pocket like $500 for my opponent's purse, and then I actually made about $1,000 selling T-shirts, so. It was pretty cool. I had a good friend of mine, his little brother's a graphic designer, and he's really artistic. He drew me up a logo, and put it on a black shirt, and they sold like candy, man. It was a pretty cool logo, though.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing I see now that a lot of guys, like, I see guys that are like 5-0, and they don't have shirts at these fights, which I don't know if maybe they're being told they can't sell shirts there, which I doubt that's a thing, because I talked to one guy about it because I bought tickets to go watch him fight in May, and it's just like, why don't you have merch? Like, that's, if you ever want to, because they're always talking to like, oh yeah, this is gonna be my job one day, my full-time job, and it's like, well, if you don't have fans, it's not gonna be your full-time job.
Right.
Like you gotta
have a support system. You gotta be able to promote, and if you can't, you've got to have a good, trustworthy manager that will make the right choices and guide you along the way. You know what I mean? It's a game of trust.
And were you guys, were you your own management team, I guess?
Yeah, when I was signed with Coach, we were, yeah. And then same with Earl. I would just give, percent out of my purse. And
yeah, that's cool though to see, and it's cool to see, like I said, you giving back now and doing the whole coaching thing, and I think you're going to go a long way with that, especially with, you got a couple really good fighters that I think can go a long ways, and I just definitely hope you keep pursuing that, and like I said, I think that's going to take you way farther than your fighting probably would. No offense to you on that, but I think it'll be more rewarding in the end too.
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree. I don't think my time is necessarily up as a fighter, but my tip-top prime I think has passed, and I want to give what knowledge I do got, to this next generation, because I see the skills that these kids have and the drive and the determination, and they find a way. Coach always said champions will always find a way. And for the longest time, one of our guys was Ubering, and I was like, what the heck? Why didn't you tell me? So I started giving him rides, and we work as a team, like we make sure that everybody gets there, and, and we train. We work hard every day.
Yeah, see, I always try to do that too. Like, there's a couple guys I know that, like, walk to and from the gym, and I'm like, dude, I literally have to drive, like, that way anyways. Like, just,
right.
Like, it's not embarrassing or whatever to ask me, like, to just, I want to see you do well too. Like, don't not show up because you don't have a ride. I think, so I don't know, it's cool though to see when you see guys like actually get that fire and that passion though, and they want to be there every day.
It's rare too, because fighting's not for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, anybody can street fight, but like boxing, the thinking man's game of boxing, like, it's not for everyone. And when you get somebody that's that passionate about it and that falls in love with it, it's really a rare thing. And you gotta bring that, you gotta bring that up. You gotta take care of that. It's a rarity.
Yeah, that's like with me. I think really losing the weight is what kind of like helped. But even then, I was still really fat when I guess I started really falling in love with it. And I think it's also just when you can hit somebody without repercussions. Because I didn't grow up getting in street fights. I was the opposite of that. I was kind of coddled a mama's boy, but it's just I don't know. It's fun to me now. And I think when you really see the progression, even in other people, because when I first started, like at my gym, I was one of the main ones that again was showing up 2-3 hours a day, 5 days a week. And now when you start seeing other guys start doing that, and then these guys that you used to be able to just kind of run circles around are now like getting to the point where you're like what do I do? Because they're like just beating the crap out of you. And I think that's, again, one of the coolest parts. And just seeing everybody grow. And with it being such like a singular sport or whatever, you have to have a team. If you don't have a team, you're not going to get better.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be with like good fighters and stuff in the gym.
With that being said, it's 90% mental, 10% physical. Like, if you don't have a good, gym, a good tight-knit team, it's, it takes away from that mental. You got to be there, in here in order to fight right,
Oh yeah.
The head's not right, the body's not gonna follow.
Oh yeah. And didn't you have that new segment you want to do this week?
I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna try this new thing today. It's our first time. Go ahead and lay it down, Twitch.
I don't know. I guess we'll just do like a quick bitch with Twitch. Just something that's on your mind that like you want to bitch about. That maybe someone cut you off recently, or or someone in the grocery store took the last milk.
Oh, dude, there was this large woman. This was like last year.
There we go.
Popped up in my memories the other day. I was driving down King Hill. I was in St. Joe, and there was this like sketchy gas station, Quickie Mart, and this lady was like driving by me, and she was pissed, man. Like, she was just honking and giving me the bird, and I was just like, what the heck, like, and I put a status out there, and it was like, to the woman that, flipped me off and gave me the bird, like, was cussing me, I hope your day gets better. To the large woman, I made sure to put large. Dude, she was big, man. Like,
Like 400 pounds.
dude, she could have probably beat my ass, man. Like, and I can fight, like, you know, but she was big, like.
So we're talking big fat or big muscular, both.
Both, dude. Like, and that's fine. Like, but she was just so angry for no reason.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, our uncle was like 400, 500
I
pounds.
think
at one point.
he got up to 5 something.
Yeah, he was like, again, you know, for not being like athletic though, like the dude, if he like punched you, it did not feel good.
Oh yeah.
You know, because it's just.
Dude, I got up to 214 at one point, like, which is big for my frame, you know, because I'm not a big guy. Like, I got up to like 214, which was big, and I got down. I lost it.
What do you got now?
Right now, I'm at like 180, but when I was at like 214, like, I lost like 60 pounds, dude, to fight again. That was when I started with Coach. I was at like 190 something. Or no, not 190 something. It would have been like 2 something. I lost 60 pounds. Yeah, about 60 pounds because I got down to like damn near 147. But I was big, dude.
Wow.
What's dude, he just showed me a picture the other day. So if you actually looked at a picture of him when he was 16, you would think it was me.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It's like,
I
if you
probably
go,
got up to like 220, 240 at one point myself.
I was at 310 was my heaviest. Damn. And now I'm sitting at 187 this morning because I ate like crap. But
Damn.
yeah, it's crazy. That's the thing, everybody. You take care of it now because when you get to a certain point, I think he brought this up the other day. Someone said on a podcast or something, it's like, if you think about it, go to a nursing home and you don't see very many large people there. So think about that. Like, that's why I'm glad I kind of started taking care of that stuff. And it's no disrespect to anybody, but I've gotten way more happier since I've lost a lot of weight. So.
Oh, yeah, man. Working out helps that a lot, too. It's that natural, like, you know, there's endorphins.
Yeah, now it's like if I don't work out, I feel like shit.
Yeah.
But, I know we're probably getting pretty close to an hour here, so we probably should go ahead and get wrapping this up. So, do you have anywhere that they can go, like the boxing gym or your page, so that they know how to get a hold of you if they want to come join the gym?
I've got an Instagram. Just message me on there, and then we can communicate from there. It's boxer_Garza, and yeah.
Boxer Garza, and also give their you guys have a page for the gym too?
We have a Facebook page, yes. Just search Larry Edgar Boxing Club on Facebook, and you'll see our logo there.
Again, that is the whole story behind that is super cool. If you go to Facebook, you could look at all the pictures and stuff. It's super dope atmosphere. I can't talk anyways. Then Twitch, where can they find you at?
The people know they've been watching.
Oh yeah, he's gotten. How many followers have you gotten since we started this whole deal? I know everyone.
0.
That's not true. Everyone adds you on Facebook, or you add them, I guess.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah, you probably add them. We were kidding. I'm just kidding. No, and then you can find me on Facebook, Dakota Hylton. You need to, if you can, please go like the Hylton's Highlights podcast page. Also, go like, subscribe, and share the page from YouTube or Spotify. For those of you who are watching on Spotify, our man is getting those new episodes uploaded. So I appreciate you guys for actually asking us about that, because I honestly don't get on Spotify. So I appreciate that.
And buy a koozie.
Yeah, and buy a koozie and buy tickets to the Hylton's Butterbean Bash, August 20th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And it's official. If you go to my page, I do have a video. I'm not just trying to scam you. So thank you guys for watching, and have a great day, night, I guess, whatever, wherever you're at. Have a good one. Peace.